Hello, in this video we'll go through an issue that I realized that some of you may have in regards to the reflected ceiling plans. So here I have opened a file, one of your files basically, and I am under the project browser under a reflected ceiling plan. And I'm under level 2 and I can already see that this drawing doesn't make much sense because I'm really missing the exterior walls of the gallery. And if I go to any 3D view, I will realize that here the student has done really good job adding those walls and even adding a facade and having a ceiling. And let's rotate on the other side. This is basically the exterior facade, the storefront, and this is from the inside, main entry, etc. Okay, so as an overall, this file has the basics, no? So if I go back to any of those ceiling plans, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, okay, level 5 makes sense because it's the highest level, so I don't really have a reflected free ceiling plan. None of those works, okay? So let's see what could be the issue. The first thing I want to check out is a little bit the different heights that the student uses. So I will go to section or elevation drawings. And I see here that she has approximately 5 foot height difference per different levels. In plan, of course, this project has a very big void in the middle, so the human body can really stand. So it seems that this minimal height, which is pretty low, I really have to bend to fit within, happens only in the perimeter. So I think that's acceptable because you guys are doing an experiential, let's say, installation sprays within the gallery. So you may have moments or micro environments that they are more compacted, maybe even too compacted than other spaces. Certainly, though, the staircases and the main circulation should be reasonable. Okay, so you have to work your way around these levels. You may end up terracing a lot, you may end up deleting some of the levels, so you have good space within. Okay, so let's keep this note, this mental note that the student works with approximately 5 foot heights. And I will go back to the reflected ceiling plan, so level 2, here we go. And as soon as I have highlighted the view, I will go under the properties of the view. And here I will search for the view range, okay? So under extents and view range, here you get a good understanding of what is the offset of the view. And you can see here that the offset is approximately 7 feet above the level you have highlighted. This is to say that the actual cut for the ceiling plans happens 7 feet and 6 inches above the level 2. Now, if you remember, level 3 is located only 5 foot above. So that's the problem, okay? The problem is that the view range of level 2 is higher than the slab of level 3. That's why things get messy here. So there are two solutions to this problem. The first solution would be, you know what, instead of looking right above level, which is level 3, which we know you can't within this range, look even higher. Go to level 5, for example. And let's see. Still, it gives us an error. Let me try level 4. It still tells us that, you know what, the view depth is still below the top clip plane. Okay, so this didn't work out for me. Let me try both of them. Okay, yeah. So the view rates right now, I kind of cheated. I said, instead of giving me the reflected ceiling plan that relates to level 3, which is right above this one, I went to level 4, so a bit higher. If I go back to edit, another solution to the problem would be, okay, stick to level 3, since this makes more sense, but reduce the number of the offset. So instead of cutting 7 feet above, let's cut a number lower than 5, because we know the distance between the slabs is 5. So if I say something like 3 here and hit OK, I get still very good resolution. So I'm good with that, and I could start working my way around level 3 as well, following the exact same principles. I could go to edit. I could leave that as level 4, okay, but the offset has to be reduced to something less than 5. So let's say 3 again, and okay. And yes, I do get now more resolution for my drawing, and obviously the exterior walls and the storefronts that have to be there. Yeah. So keep that in mind. Before we close this video, I would like to go through the panel. So this is the panel 2 empty, and you guys already have plugged in here orthographic drawings, so you all have plans and sections. Sections and interior elevations somehow are good, so you can either have sections or interior elevations. It's really the same. And we ask for one RCP. You don't have to add here all of the reverse ceiling plans. Just add one of them, one characteristic. And you can start working your way with the plans as well in different scales. So you don't have to have all of the plants in the same scale. You may have plants in 1/16 scale, which means very small, and then one of them that you feel is the most characteristic for the concept of your installation could be bigger, let's say in quarter of a scale, or if it's to be in eighth of a scale. So really work around this layout. There is no recipe here. We're not really giving you a very precise placement, just because each one of you should come with a different, let's say, layout and a different concept. Up here, most of you already have placed those drawings that come from Rhino. So it is a transition space for the Rhino to Revit, so from panel 1 to panel 2, and that's again a drawing from you guys. Here we have all of the selected studies together, overlapping, rendered with different colors. And here we have the exploded analysis of the parts and characteristic sections. So this is more or less already covered. And in the previous video tutorials, I started exporting drawings that relate to sectional axonometries using the section box, but also we exported solar analysis studies, exploded diagrams from Revit, and also we talked about setting up perspective cameras and exporting very basic grayscale massing views. And let's go through those PDF files. Let's go and see very fast. Let's get an overview. This is a possible AXO section. Okay, so here we're sectioning from both directions of X and Y. You may have one or more than one of these drawings. This is a very fast and rough exploded analysis of parts. You can take that in panel 2 and just make sure that you also add titles that explain what is the logic of explosion, what are the different components. Here we have one of the 4 solar studies that you are to again add as part of your panel 2, maybe small all the way down here, but again feel free to experiment. And then this is one possible perspective view. This is exterior view, so it's a bit weird because you will really never get this view in real life. The actual gallery space is within other walls, so it's somehow embedded. But right now this is more of a conceptual massing image, so it's acceptable. And then you may have interior views. So instead of exterior, you may have 3 interior views or 2 interior views and 1 exterior. And here it's one option just to see the aesthetic. You should just experiment a lot with the tools we saw in a previous video tutorial. You can also experiment with hidden line output, or let's say shaded output. So in Revit, you can select different visual styles and export accordingly. And I think that's clear. I will leave it here for now. Thank you.